Hey, everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be a good one between the New York Giants and the Detroit Lions. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Well, Coach, the seating capacity is 65,000 at Ford Field, and we are right around that number today. A good crowd on hand and seemingly ready to go in the Motor City. The scene a few. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the New York Giants and the Detroit Lions. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. They've been playing well, really well. Winners of 5 of their last 7, but losers last time out. On the other side of the field for the visiting Giants, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line.
Come on now, let's go.
So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. And a glance here at their quarterback standing 6'3".
And I liked what his head about him this week, that no matter what happens, whether he throws 7 interceptions or 7 touchdown passes, he's the same assertive leader in the huddle on each and every play. He can throw the 7 interceptions, just blame the football, blame anything else, and still carry himself like he is the man.
It's like you, assertive in our production meetings.
Well, especially when we're talking about ordering dinner, ordering some snacks.
I was just going to say.
That's where I go.
On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. 4 yards the result on the first play from scrimmage. Second down. And the starting offense now for the Giants.
And they come off a tough loss last week, and what's their reward? A second straight road game. Rarely are teams happy about scheduling. They're always calling the league office saying, how come we have this game and that game? But when you're coming off of a loss on the road and you go right into another one, that's a difficult task.
Now Saquon Barkley. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and they're going to have a third down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know, you know better than I, he has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. From the gun, Wallace. Got an open man, that's Campbell. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. Only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long? Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't unit, right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
So on 4th down, here's Johnny Hecker to punt it away. Yeah, last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. And taken right on the 30. And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Lions will take over. So here are the Lions now as they get set for their opening drive. And leading them out there, we get a look at their 6'3" quarterback.
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. But I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one.
Yeah, they don't want it all just heaped on his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
That good for 22 and a first down. One thing that's great about watching him run, Charles, he doesn't hesitate. He got to the left side of his own line and just went.
So there's two ways to look at that. One, just absolutely unconcerned, just takes off and goes. But more the latter, I think, which is he has absolute confidence in the guys in front of him, the guys doing the blocking for him. He just takes it and goes with abandon.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a first down.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backside of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. A gain of 3, second down. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Gonna throw right side here, complete. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 18 yards that time to push him up, 1st and goal. Of course, he's coming off that NFC Offensive Player of the Week performance. 2 scores in that game a week ago.
And how did he get them? Speed is one thing, but how about the niftiness in his route running, able to cross people up in the secondary and make sure that they can't quite get to him before the ball arrives. He's something after the catch as well.
Come on, set. 18 Gator. Smooth. 58's the money. 58. Hey. Big grip.
They'll drop to throw. That is caught at the 7-yard line. Pretty darn good, as you see right there on your screen.
I'll echo that. Darn good. 2 touchdowns, right? And the ability to be in sync with each other, right? To understand that he's going to be where the quarterback expects him to be when the ball's thrown.
2nd and goal from inside the 5.
Protein spill. Opposite.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Get wide. Watch twins. Check safety. Leo. Spike.
They'll try to run this one in. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. A great effort there with touchdown number 12 on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turning to his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. New York set to take the field. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number one goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number two goal is win your division. Number three goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round.
Down. 70, Indy. You better bring. You better bring. Let's go.
Off play action. Wallace. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
Offense.
Well, as a lineman, they are trained. You've got to stay close to home. If you're more than a yard downfield, they're going to toss that flag, and they did there.
60 outlaw. I'm coming for you. You mine. Go.
To throw on second down. Wallace. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Well, it was second long. Now it's third and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving them exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
Throwing on third and long. Wallace under pressure again, and down he goes again. Here's Johnny Hacker now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Ready for the second quarter, and it's our visitors with the football. They are, however, facing a fourth down situation. Let's take it inside his own 40. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know. We know where we are right now, but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, get the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
And he's not even able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Now, there's also a flag down, and it's in the area of holding. So on the big tight end, holding.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's a constant struggle and a constant fight to learn how to do it without holding.
They'll come up now on a second and long after the hold.
Ready?
Following the penalty, it's Johnson. He'll take this from the 40 up to the 45 for a gain of 5.
On a second and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on third down.
He's got his man, T.J. Hockenson. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 15 yards for the Lions there on a first down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
So the drive takes him into Giants territory now, 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Now a handoff here to his running back. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. They're going to look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. This drive.
Well, that was big right there because they're in the bottom 5 in the league and converting on 3rd down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
There were 2 things they said they wanted to win in this game. One, the turnover battle, and the second, 3rd down conversions. So they got one. 15-yard line before he's brought down. 11 yards there and a Lion first down.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn into big plays.
And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Defense.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward.
Automatic first down.
So the ball's moved to about the 1 after the penalty. 1st and goal.
Recon, 132 fighter. Go.
They'll look to throw here. Flush to, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
29 is Mike 29. Got you.
2nd and 9 now. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Back-to-back great plays defensively. You get the sack on 1st and goal. A great job in coverage there. All of a sudden, they're looking at 3rd and goal from further back than when they started.
And the really good play callers look ahead and down.
He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. T.J. Hockenson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. No surprise there. 3rd and goal down here. That's where they're going to look for their tight end.
Yeah, you want that big guy running his routes because it doesn't matter who they cover him with. If it's another big guy, he might use his bulk against him. If it's a shorter defender, he might go over the top. Either way, you tend to find a little bit of a mismatch in that area.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. All that only nets him a yard. It's 2nd down. Looking to throw. Wallace. It's caught by Jackson. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. It's a giant first down on a gain of 16. Operating from the gun. Wallace. Campbell making the catch. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Continuing to steadily move the ball down the field. Not big play after big play, but these moderate gains getting them first downs.
And you know what they add up to, right? If you continue that pace and you continue to move it downfield, they add up into 6 points. That's exactly what you're looking for.
He'll hit Jackson, complete. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, Wallace. It fights him off. But now he's swallowed up and taken down. Clock rolling as the Giants will hurry to the line. Back to throw. Wallace. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Wallace. And he can't bring it in. Incomplete. He dropped it on the crossing route. 4th down now. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. A good job in the passing game. Decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
The first play of the drive there is incomplete. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. 2nd and 10. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. That was DeAndre Baker that time who was able to break that one up.
DeAndre Baker there defensively.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. On 3rd down, Vance. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the 1st down marker. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. Here comes the Lions punter now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And that kick will go out of bounds right at the 20-yard line. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things starting to get interesting in this final weekend before Thanksgiving. So let's see what's going on around the NFL. We'll begin with an always physical one in the NFC East. Heated rivals, Dallas and Philadelphia, at it again. And in the second quarter, it is the Eagles who are out in front. The Eagles locked in a tight one, but this is a game you feel they've got to have. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3.
You get it. Coming, baby. I'm coming, baby. Woo! Hard, hard. Now.
They'll start the third quarter here on the ground. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. It's a gain of 14 and a first down for Detroit.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Alpha. Ready?
Back to throw now on first down. Catch is made by Hawkinson, the tight end. 11 yards there and a Lion first down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. He'll drop to throw, and that's complete to Jesse James. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 35.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. This defense trying to do its part, active hands on that play, but their offense hasn't given them much to work with.
So they're not going to worry about it. On their side of the ball, all they're concerned about, can they create some scoring opportunities and help out that offense?
That good for 6 as they keep this drive right on rolling.
And that one was a lot of fun right there, because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. 2nd and 11. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
60 out, ball. Hey, Delta. 4 down, even. Yes.
Back to throw here. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
And that's his 2nd sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. Incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete.
Yeah, baby.
You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And this one is right through. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the 3rd quarter.
And as a defense, The way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect him better.
They do. They've got to make sure that they give him more than enough time in order to find targets downfield. And sometimes what happens when these things are going on is that the field general will step up and say, hey, that's on me, guys. I didn't get rid of it fast enough. Anything to try and relax them a little bit and take some pressure off, because they do know that they are trying.
Yeah, well, we've seen the 4 sacks so far in this contest. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw again. Wallace. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
13 yards, good for a Giant first down.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
On first down, Wallace. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Whenever I see a drop like that, I have to kind of take a step back and check myself a little bit. So used to seeing those big guys make big-time spectacular plays that when they drop one, I have to remind myself, we ask a lot out of these guys. Block and catch the football. Not easily done in today's NFL.
This is caught by Jackson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Another good completion on the drive as the Giants have a first down.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. A first down run by Barkley, unsuccessful, as he won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. They'll set up the screen to Barkley. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
So they need 6 yards here on third down. They're 2 for 2 on third down tries so far on this drive. From the gun, Wallace. And he's unable to haul it in, so it falls incomplete over the middle third of the field, and that brings up 4th. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
They're already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. On 4th down, Wallace. And it is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Lions will take over. Well, that's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th. And we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And gets by him, and now a little daylight. 20! And all the way down to the 7-yard line. And he will finally be taken down at the Giants' 7-yard line.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak. Leighton ball.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. That, of course, all set up by the big run on the play prior. They took advantage right away with the touchdown throw.
And you mentioned advantage, probably taking advantage of their natural instinct after that previous play to be aggressive and rush towards the line of scrimmage. And instead, they were vulnerable to the pass.
So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And his guys are going to start their drive right at the 20-yard line. New York set to take the field. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
13 yards, good for a Giant first down. This quarterback now 9 of 16 through the air as he's got it 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Wallace to Barkley on the check down. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. Good work after the catch. Gets him 15 and a first down.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. Looking to throw. Wallace. Another pass attempt, another incompletion. You figure defensively, you're in the 4th quarter here, you've held the team under 100 yards passing. You've done your job. Especially
in today's NFL, which is truly a pass-first league.
Takes to midfield, but no further, just a yard there. The Giants on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Back to throw. Wallace, he's got it to Matthews, complete. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. They're still throwing the football here, and obviously the incompletion stops the clock. That's the bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football.
Right over there, right over there. Yeah. Mike, 58, right there.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Open man, he's got him, the tight end, Hockenson. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. That one good for 26 and a first down. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Back to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense, exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
What we got?
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete.
They had enough yards for the first down, but a clutch hit right there defensively. Jars it free. No first down.
So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. He made his first attempt, this from 45. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And the lead increases even further. It's 27-0 now. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And the Giants ready to come out now. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once we were down huge, and someone said,
under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. Finding room at the 30. Give them 18 there, and the Giants have a first down. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now, because now these plays are really for...
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
So many times we end a game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act, that interception. Good way for them to end it. The first down carry here for Johnson. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They go to Johnson again. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. Now the try here for the point after. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So 2 plays on that scoring drive. That's how they drew it up. And the long run into the end zone, and what a run it was. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. Shedding through the defense. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Here's the Giant offense now making their way back out onto the field. They are down big. They have not scored a single point I don't know. Are they so defeated at this point you just want to get in the locker room, get the heck out of here?
That is one way to approach it. Sometimes coaches say, that's it, okay? It hasn't worked all game. There's no sense in doing something now. Let's get out of here. No one gets hurt. But others will look at it and say, we still have an opportunity to do something.
On the line.
Exactly. You have pride on the line, execution as you look forward and get ready for your next game, and a message to your team. We're not going to quit. No matter what the battle is, we're going to finish this thing out.
On 1st and 10, Wallace. Catch made here by Campbell. Past the 20. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown. But they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
So they will get on the scoreboard here. Give him credit for that. Too little, too late, but no zero. Oh, you're going slow clap on me.
Not very nice, is it?
No, but they haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle. Rosas good with the extra point, and that will get them one closer. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy two-play drive that time. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions, and it was their defense that really paved the way to this victory as they allowed the 1 touchdown, and that was all she wrote.
Almost want to do the defense chant right now, right? Defense with a couple of claps in there, but no one wants to hear that from me. Let's just talk about how they got it done, though. When you take care of every aspect of the game, shut down the run, control the airways, right? Make sure the quarterback is harassed. This type of performance you get. They can't fashion together any offense, no consistency, and they just took control.
So for Detroit, they keep pace for a playoff spot as they move to 7-3. And now they'll have the short week ahead as they'll host their annual Thanksgiving Day game on Thursday. Meanwhile, for the Giants, they're going the wrong way as this will drop them to 3-7 now on the year. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.